Is it too early to say I told you so? Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, Lords of Ring, or Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power review from Entertainment Weekly. Now, these guys have been known to do a lot of shilling, but I gotta say, this is refreshing that we might actually see some objectivity. So, Darren Frannick, let's see what you gotta say. It's kind of a catastrophe, and you got these stupid thingies here. There are ways to do a prequel, and Rings of Power does them all wrong. It takes 6 or 7 things everybody remembers from the famous movie trilogy, adds a water tank, makes nobody fun, teases mysteries that aren't mysteries, and sends the best character on a pointless detour. The latter is Uber Galadriel, or is Uber Elf Galadriel, played by the woman that says "fuck you all," Morfydd Clark, who spends the premiere telling people to worry about Sauron. In response, people tell her not to worry about Sauron. That's 1 hour down, 7 to go this season. Sound like $1 billion yet? J.R.R. Tolkien imagined Galadriel as an immortal who leaves a sun-swept garden paradise because she yearns to see the great, wide, unguarded lands of Middle-earth and to rule there a realm at her own will. Kate Blanchett played her in Peter Jackson's movies as a Vulcan witch for justice. That is a pretty apt way of describing it. The new Prime Video series, debuting with 2 episodes on Friday, soldiers her up on a vengeance kick. Yes, let's kill people! Millennium before Gollum, Galadriel is commander of the Northern Armies, which she never was, and a warrior of the Wastelands, which she never was. She free solos up a frozen mountain alongside an ultra mega waterfall. War claimed her brother and drenched the world in blood. Gosh, this sounds so dramatic how this person writes this. She suspects vanquished Sauron still lingers and has hunted him for ageless decades. Most other elves think Sauron's gone forever. A lieutenant begs her to end this quest and to go home, because their search party is approaching a land where even sunlight fears to tread. That is not only accidentally a funny line, but it is also the most brazenly dumb. Mr. Elf Lieutenant, isn't the sun-scaring shadow country exactly where you should look for a wicked god monster? I'm just reading this article, folks. It's as if this person wrote everything in my mind. I mean, wow. I love this. Galadriel narrates a history lesson prologue. There's a battle montage, Mordor weirdness, and then a hard cut to halfling antics. This is the precise structure that begins 2001's The Fellowship of the Ring feature. So you're telling me that they basically stole the formula for Peter Jackson's The Fellowship of the Ring? Wow, Amazon, you really didn't have much originality there, did ya? Nori Brandyfoot, Markella Kavanagh, or Kavanagh, or whatever, I don't know. Even looks like Elijah Wood's Frodo, all wide eyes and bushy hair. And a little Harfoot's journey begins with the arrival of a bearded outsider, Daniel Wayman. Obvious reference points do this show no justice. In Fellowship, Jackson cranked a trip to underground Moria in a cinematic horror action comedy rock opera. When an equivalent setting appears here, it's big, bright, and bland. It's where a dwarf complains to an elf, "You missed my wedding!" The mood is stilted, dull. They ride an elevator. What? What? Oh my god, this is hilarious. Despite all the streaming war headlines, the series is nothing like HBO's concurrent Game of Thrones spin-off, The House of Dragons, is a family drama plus dragons. The 2 Rings of Power episodes I've seen feel more like an 8-hour Infinity War, with disparate goods coalescing towards a big bad. The one thread feels new concerns Arondir, Ishmael Cruz Cordova, and Bronwyn, Nazanin Boniadi. Wow, that's a weird name. Anyway, star-crossed in a disputed land, he's an elf patrolling unruly humans who call him nasty names like knife ears. Oh, wow. Racism! Who'da thunk? Racism against the black elf. Wow. Who really didn't see that coming? She's a single mom whose sweet chats with Arondir, the one they call knife ears, causes social ruckus. Yeah, because interracial, you can't be talking with those kind of people. They're disgusting. Of course they're going to put all this crap in to try to sell that racism is bad and say that it is a huge problem because they're saying this is what modern day world is like. They even claim that, well, we're going to modernize Lord of the Rings. But yeah, social ruckus. Tensions are generational. Arondir remembers when the locals fought for evil. Bronwyn's fellow villagers despise the occupying force left over from a conflict no human remembers. I don't think Tolkien intended his elves to seem a tad fascist, and Jackson didn't worry about casting an ensemble of white British guys and white Americans talking British. Rings of Power casually diversifies its fictional races, a casting decision that's thankfully normal in contemporary fantasy. Okay. But unlike, say, House of the Dragon, this series also briefly takes fantasy world racism seriously. Yeah, Jesus. The humans don't like Arondir. The Harfoots fear everyone else. What have elves ever done to you? Galadriel asks Jerky Halbrand, Charlie Vickers, a human running from a brutal past. Foregrounding interspecies anxiety is certainly a new Middle-earth take. I worry it won't last. Violent forces converge quickly around Arondir and Bronwyn, which means those actors get one flirty scene before the action ramps up. A dwarf-elf alliance looms, which we all know never would have happened in the Second Age because of the hatred between elves and dwarves. They hated each other on principle because that was Ilúvatar's punishment to his son for trying to be a creator himself when he created dwarves. So, yeah. Anyway, there may be a bigger thing to worry about than, like, interpersonal relations. People keep finding a strange, scary sigil. So congratulations, Ring of Power writers. You brought Sauron to television and made him a TV serial killer. Wow. This is a really brutal review, and I love it. It's brutal and it's honest. What do you want from Lord of the Rings now? Tolkien tapped a well of myth that are at once elemental and postmodern, dragooning ancient moods of dark wizard fairy lore toward brave new worlds of superpowered planetary terror. He produced 4 proper novels, followed by the Silmarillion, posthumously collated, totally awesome, and then a half-century of the Dead Writer version of lost Tupac tapes. Okay, that's just that. Wow. Rings of Power is officially based on Lord of the Rings and appendices. Cliff Notes, folks. They base their shows off of Cliff Notes. That's what appendices are. Age only enriches his vast imagination. Somehow Sauron's all-seeing eye now perfectly summarizes the digital surveillance state, and Middle-earth is still full of tantalizing mysteries along the margins with subcontinental centuries of eldritch history broom-swept under phrases like the South and the East. You'd think a new tale would want to explore less traveled corners of Tolkien's wide, unguarded lands. And Rings of Power does conjure the elves' previously unseen homeland, Valinor. It's in two embarrassing ways. First, it's a babbling brook where cute kids frolic. Oh, damn, that sounds brutal. Then, it's a heavenly light ray pouring out of parting clouds. The latter is almost a Monty Python special effect. And that's before one person decides against the furthest stretch of fantasy logic to swim across an ocean. Wow, folks. This dude is literally laying into this show hard. Otherwise, the first 2 hours stick to seen it before places and boring situations. Officious cliff-adjacent elves proffer blank wisdom. The same wind that seeks to blow out a fire may also cause it to spread. Nori says chosen one things. It's like there's a reason this happened. Like I was supposed to find him. Rising politician Elrond, Robert Aramayo, starts prepping a long-winded industrial project which will require a workforce greater than ever assembled. Tolkien's saga was anti-industrialization. Yes, it was. He hated, or one of his more famous quotes back in the day was, the worst creation ever was the internal combustion engine. So yeah, he was kind of anti-industrial. Which makes it hilarious that Rings of Power is an Amazon product. Imagine Saruman throwing an Arbor Day party. Oh my god. Much press has swirled around the production cost, but if a huge budget made great TV, we'd be in Terra Nova Season 12. Showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay show no instinct for pacing. Some characters seem to teleport far distances while others walk slowly between villages. Despite horses, existing, a big sea attack looks unfinished, introducing a massive threat that's quickly forgotten. Director J.A. Bayona finds isolated moments of grandeur but the helicopter shots get repetitive fast. The fights aren't quite up to the Walking Dead level, and the battles won't make any crab feeders nervous. Frequent cuts to an explanatory map are more funny than informative. Oh my god, really? Amazon only made the 2 episodes available to critics. Maybe things pick up, new locations feel less like, now that's what I call Middle-earth karaoke. Owain, Arthur, and Sophia Novet have a sitcom couple sparks as Moria marrieds. Oh my god. While Peter Mulan is recognizably eerie under layers of dwarf makeup. Clark's a rising star who was unfathomably freaky in Saint Maud. She imports that film's obsessive mania to a role that so far mainly constitutes of the kind of random encounter duels that torment Final Fantasy players. The other characters are so lame, I was rooting for the orcs. Oh my god. I absolutely love this dude. This dude deserves a freaking medal for his writing. Somebody get this man a Pulitzer. Viewers hungry for Middle-earth anything could be satisfied. And I guess you could argue Rings of Power is no worse than the other expensively empty genre adventures. Altered Carbon, anyone? Yeah, that was good, but it was lacking. That have proliferated through the streaming era. But the series is a special catastrophe of ruined potential, sacrificing a glorious universe's limitless possibilities at the altar of tried and true blockbuster desperation. Grade C-. Wow. Folks, that's a very scathing review of Rings of Power. I mean, seriously. This dude just tore into it and kept on brutally beating it in such a way that, holy crap, I almost got tears. That somebody would actually be willing to be honest. Holy crap. I gotta say, this is impressive. Wow. What's this dude's name again? Darren Franick? Or Franish? Or whatever? Well, Darren, dude, respect. Holy shit. Wow, folks. That is just pure awesomeness right there. It's only been, or because it's only reinforcing what many people, myself included, have said, that this show was a mistake to make. Especially since Tolkien's family is dead. Well, the ones that matter anyway. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of this news? Of this scathing review for Rings of Power? Are you still looking forward to watching it? Are you going to watch it? What are your thoughts, folks? Let me know all of them. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.